All right, good evening, folks. We'll go ahead and get started. Just to make sure that everyone can hear me, if you can see, right now you should see my screen with the PowerPoint up and be able to hear me. If you can do both of those, if you could just give me an okay in the chat box or a thumbs up or something, please. All right, great. Well, welcome to EDA 608, Leveraging Community Systems and Resources. My name is Dr. Dustin Broombaugh, adjunct professor here. Just real quick, just a little bit about me so you know my background. Um, Adjunct professor, uh, I guess during the nights, you know, anyone getting feedback or is it me? What do you mean by that? Not sure exactly what you mean. Um, but anyway, a little bit about me is, so my day job, uh, yeah, I've unmuted everybody. So yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. I've muted everyone. Well, I did at least. Yeah, mute all. So you shouldn't be getting any feedback or hearing anybody else but me. So back to what I was talking about. So during my day job, I'm the director of human resources for Madison County Schools in Richmond, Kentucky. I was a former middle school math teacher, turned elementary school principal, and then I'm starting my beginning my 7th year as a human resources director. So that's kind of my background. Um, just a little bit about me. As you can see there on the screen, my email address. Feel free to shoot me an email. So my plan for tonight is really just getting acquainted with the online course that we're using here in Canvas and some of the documents. There won't be any sort of lecture or anything like that. This course will be predominantly online only. We will meet for sure at least one more time during the course. I'll tell you about that here in a little bit. But other than that, we'll do it as needed. And if not needed, it'll only be through the course here. So I'm going to go ahead and explore a few things through Canvas. Please note that um, my layout may look just a tiny bit different than yours. There's a student view and a professor view. So I have the view here, obviously, as a professor. So the biggest thing you're going to want to do is on the left-hand side, I would encourage you to mainly focus on clicking on modules, which I'm going to do now. All right, so on the modules there, you'll notice that for you guys right now, the only thing that you can see is what's under week 1. You'll notice I've worked ahead and I've had quite a few things through week 7 already posted, even though you cannot see those. They will show up as the week goes. So since this course starts on a Monday, folks, since this course starts on a Monday, I'm kind of viewing it that, week 1 begins on Monday through Sunday evening. And then week 2 will start on the next Monday through that following Sunday evening. So that's kind of how I have it set up. So on, let's see, well, week 2 will unlock on the 25th. I believe the 25th should be a Sunday. Yes, so what I've tried to do here is it will unlock kind of a day before the next week starts. So since week 2 technically starts on Monday, August the 26th, week 2 will unlock on that day before on Sunday. So hopefully that makes sense. So if you haven't already, here's what I need you to do for week 1 at least. One, only ones that you can see, week 1, kind of go through those different items for week 1, which I'm about to do for you here in a moment. So week 1, the first day of class discussion board. If you have not already, please make sure that you complete the first day of class discussion board today. So if you haven't done it yet, please, when we get done here, complete the discussion board for week 1. You will not get any points for it. It's worth 0 points. It's mandatory fun, but it does need to be completed today. Sorry about that. I muted myself so I could cough. So basically, the administration at Georgetown takes a stance that every student needs to take some sort of action on the first day of class, almost to fulfill the obligation of participating in the class. I will go through and then proverbially grade it. It's worth 0 points. You're going to get a 0 out of 0, but you need to do it. I need to take action on it so that you've taken action that first day of class. So again, if you have not completed that first day of class discussion board, please make sure you do it today, or you will be administratively dropped from the course. Number 2, let's take a quick look at the syllabus. All right, not a bunch in the syllabus. I'm going to go through the highlights, but one, I'm the instructor. There is my cell phone number. I would prefer, if you need to contact me, that you contact me through my Georgetown College email there. Yes, I have a day job with Madison County Schools, but I keep that Georgetown email on my phone. I check it a couple times a day. I take a lot of pride and usually pretty quick on getting back to you. Now, obviously, it depends on how busy I am that day, but it's not uncommon that I'll check it a couple times a day, especially during lunch or something like that. That'd be the best way to communicate with me. If something's urgent or something that would take a little bit longer or more difficult through email, then we can set up a phone call, or maybe we can even set up one of these one-on-one Zoom meetings if we need to. Again, going through the highlights. Next, want to encourage you, if you have not already, to purchase the course book. I've used this book for a couple years now. It's a quick and easy little paperback book. I believe it's like maybe 6 chapters. It's a short read. It's an easy read, but a valuable read. I promise. I've typically consistently gotten very good feedback on the book. It's not like a lot of courses. What I try not to do is do a bunch of useless nonsense reading just because you're supposed to in a graduate course. It's going to be a valuable reading. It's going to be an easy read. I promise. I promise it'll be an easy read for you. Can't see the full page. I have it set up so you can see my whole screen, so you should be able to see it there. So again, if you haven't purchased that, please do so. When I originally got it, I got it on Amazon. It was $10 or $15, and I promise it'll be an easy read for you. Next, make sure you have access to live text. I don't. All right, I'll collapse the chat box here. I don't. I don't know how many courses you guys have taken right now, but has it been, a couple of you let me know, has it been common that you have used live text in other courses at this point? Okay, good. So there'll be 2 things that you will need to use for live text. One of them I will do for you. So basically 2 things. One, the culminating project that we'll talk very, very briefly about here in a moment. I lied. There's 3 things that you will do at the end of the course. Remember, this is a full 15-week course. It might even be 16. You won't use live text for a while. But the final project in this class, you will have to upload into LiveText, and I'll grade it there, and I'll grade it in Canvas as well. Number two, the dispositions. I have to complete a dispositions rubric for each of you on LiveText. If you're not aware of that, dispositions are just what's been my experience with, well, what's been my experience with how you have interacted with your peers? Have you submitted things timely? Have you showed a lot of character, good work ethic? Dispositions are qualities about you. I'll have to go through and complete that on all of you. As long as you keep up and you work well with others, keep up your responsibilities, treat others nicely, that'll be no issue. Not a grade for it, but it's something that's required of this program. So I'll do that in LiveText. You will put your culminating project, your final project for this course in LiveText. You'll post it. And then you'll also document your field experience hours in LiveText. Besides that, that'll be it. Again, all of those will come at the end of the course. So about halfway through the course, we will go over all those expectations. Next, all the fun objectives that we'll cover in the course. I'm not going to bore you with all those. The course outline that I'm going to go through in a different document here in a moment, but this is basically for each week what the different assignments and stuff that I'll do of what you'll be doing each week, but I'm about to go over that in a different format here in just a moment. All right, then here are all of the different methods in which you will be graded on in this course. There'll be reflective papers, 25 points each, and you'll have 2 of those for 50 points total. So you'll have 2. You'll read an article, not the book. That's the discussion boards. I'll provide you an article. You will read it. You will provide a response on that reading 2 different times in the course, 25 points each, 50 points total. You'll conduct 3 interviews in this course. Each interview, I'll have some criteria for what I expect, but each interview is worth 25 points, 75 points total. Next, your discussion board. There'll be 6 discussion boards worth 15 points total. Those 6 discussion boards will be each deal with 1 chapter of that paperback book that I just talked about. So again, you'll need to buy that book. Again, I'll go through those expectations, but each of the 6 discussion boards for each of the 6 different weeks that you do that will be worth 15 points total. Toward the end of the course, you'll write the first draft of your literature review. That's worth 35 points. And then the final anchor assessment, that's that final item that you'll put in the last week of course. You'll put that in the LiveText and in Canvas both. Again, you'll put that in Canvas and LiveText. That is worth 50 points. And again, we'll go over that at a later date. You'll have access to whatever you've had access to before. I can't tell you that I'm 100% familiar with all of the different online search databases that you've had, but as a student, whatever you've had access to before, you should still have access to those. And then that's kind of the rubric. But again, all right, the grading scale, here's kind of how the points break down. For the class, there's 300 points total in this course. The ones I just went over there, the reflective papers, the interviews, discussion boards, the literature review, and the anchor assessment, all totals up to 300 points. Remember, just like all the other classes, 93 to 100 is an A, 85 to 92 is a B, 75 to 84 is a C, and anything below a C would unfortunately be a failing grade. Okay, so I'm gonna hop off the syllabus, go back in here. So again, we went over the first class discussion board. We just went over the syllabus, the field experience documentation. So if you go there, it'll bring you up to this document. All right, so in this class 608, you are required, it's a requirement that you complete 10 field experience hours for this course. All right. A good chunk of the hours will be from when you conduct the interviews in this class. Now, the interviews that are due for this course aren't due for a while, okay? Well, actually, I'll jump back to the syllabus to see when they are. You'll conduct 3 interviews in this class, and those interviews, yeah, you'll complete those, or at least they're due, those interviews in weeks 10, 11, and 12. So it's probably, folks, I'm estimating, going to be in, late October. I'll show you an exact date here in a moment, but 3 interviews, you need 10 hours for this course. In my experience, most students get a good at least 6 of the hours of the 10 hours they have to get just from completing the interviews in this course. So what are some items that you need to do complete to get up to 10? Be things that are this time of year for the fall. Especially, they don't have to be community relations related, but obviously I encourage you to do this. Does your school have some sort of community event in the fall? A fall festival, a fall carnival, something like that would be 100% appropriate. Does your school do any sort of math or literacy night in the fall? If you helped the planning and participation in that, of course you could use that for this. I don't need a ton. Just tell me, download this, put the date of the field experience, give me a sentence or two describing what you did, and then have your head principal sign off on that. This should not, I'm fine with you type it in on the date and the field experience, but the signature should be that administrator's actual signature on that one. So again, 10 hours. Again, I won't need this till like December, but once you're done, you will upload this into Canvas so I can give you points for it. And you'll also upload it into LiveText. All right, let me hop back over to Canvas. All right, next, the online class meeting was the details for our meeting for tonight. And then lastly, the due dates. All right, so you click on the due dates, you will get this document brought up. This again kind of correlates with what I talked about. Each week, week 1 is August the 19th, today a Monday, through August the 25th, which is a Sunday. Then on the day before, week 2 will automatically open up. In week 2, Monday, August 26th through Monday, September 1st was week 2, you'll have your first discussion board due. All right, discussion boards, remember, are worth 15 points. So what's a discussion board look like? Well, let's go look at one. Again, you won't be able to see this yet, but it'll open up at the beginning of next week. So here's what a discussion board will look like. All right, so first, your first original post should be completed on Monday by midnight and respond to 3 of your peers by Thursday. Tasks which are done through forums are due the week that they're listed. Your original posts should be about 250 words or more. So each of you needs to complete 1 original post by that Monday night of about 250 words or more. Folks, I'm not counting the words. 250 words is probably 2 solid paragraphs. You must post your replies to 3 of your peers. Remember, that's due by Thursday. So there'll be 4 total posts, your original one and 3 peers. 4 total posts worth 15 points. So basically what do you need to do? For this first one, read chapter 1 of your book, watch these 2 videos, and then make your post describing the following. What can you do to ensure your school has a positive reputation in the eyes of your students, parents, and the community? Number 2, how do you build a culture of trust? Number 3, in what ways do you plan to share information with all stakeholders so that everyone is informed? Remember, not everyone has access to social media. So after you've read chapter 1 and watched the 2 videos that are posted, again, you can't see this on your platform yet, but you'll be able to next week. Make a post by Monday and respond to 3 of your peers by Thursday of that week. 15 total points. Questions on that for each of your discussion boards will look just like that. Discussion board 1 will deal with chapter 1. Discussion board 2 will deal with chapter 2, so on and so forth. Any questions about how discussion boards work? All right, so if none at the moment, back to the due dates little page there. Week 3, you have a discussion board. Week 4 is when your first paper is due. So I'm gonna go back to Canvas and kind of show you how papers work. Again, you won't be able to see this, but it'll show up your first papers during week 4. It'll show up the week of. So the discussion board will open on Monday, and we have to answer by the end of that day. No, it'll open, even though the week starts on a Monday, I open it up on a Sunday. So it'll open up Sunday at like 12:01 a.m. So you'll have all day Sunday and all day Monday to do that. And just know ahead of time, discussion board is going to be a chapter. If you've not looked at the book yet, the chapter in a book might be, I don't have mine sitting right in front of me, 6 or 8 pages tops. It's a short, easy read. I promise it won't be difficult. But you definitely could read ahead if you want. Discussion board 1 will deal with chapter 1. Discussion board 2 will deal with chapter 2 in your book. All right, a paper. All right, so your first paper is due week 4. Paper number 1, I'm clicking on. Again, that'll show up. Paper number 1. Please read the assigned article for the week and write it 2 pages or more using standard APA formatting. The paper should be double spaced and 12 fonts. So let me preface this. 1, read the article. I'll go back to the article here in just a second. The paper should be 2 pages in length, double spaced, 12 font. As long as, and then you basically need to read it and provide me a summary / reflection. Describe a summary, proving to me that you did read it, and then reflect on what you took away from the article that's of value. As long as it's 2 pages, double spaced, 12 font, well, good clean writing, full 2 pages, good grammar, punctuation, you're going to get the full 25 out of 25. I want to preface though, notice it doesn't say a page and a half or a page and 3/4, at least 2 full pages, double spaced, 12 font, Times New Roman. I am not going to beat you up on APA. You know, just if you quote something, cite it. You know, this isn't a doctorate course or something. I'm not going to beat you up at all on the APA formatting, but it does need to be well written, well articulated, good grammar, good punctuation, all that. So I'm going to go back to that. That's kind of the expectations for any paper. All right, then right below it is the article. So the week article for that one is building partnerships and developing relationships with families. So you're going to read that article and do that accordingly. So again, we've went over what a discussion board looks like. We've went over what a paper looks like. Going back to Canvas. So week 2 is a discussion board. Week 3 is a discussion board. Week 4 is a paper. Weeks 5 and 6 are a discussion board. And week 7 is a paper. So basically between now and week 7, you will only be doing discussion boards or papers. When will the paper articles be posted? Monday. Good question. The papers are due on the Thursdays of that week. So you'll have, you know, a good chunk of the week. So like that first paper is due September the 9th is when the week starts. It's not due till the end of the day on September the 12th. So I feel like plenty of time. I feel like. So good question on that. So basically, what I was getting at, weeks from now through week 7, you either have a discussion board or a reflective paper due. And then you'll notice I posted it on week 6 and week 7, but it's the same one. We will meet again, so put that on your calendars, on Monday, September the 30th at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. I am recording this session and I'll post it later. I'll record that one if for some reason you cannot be there. I was very intentional about having that one. Is there wiggle room on due dates? To be honest, I'll work with you. You probably need to let me know if something comes up. I don't usually take a hard stance on, if you're a couple hours late or something. So if something comes up, let me know. Try to stick to it, but I'll work with you if needed. Remember, this course and this program is meant for people who are working full time and going to take courses on the evenings and to work on those. It's asynchronous. So yes, I'll work with you. What was time of the Zoom again? Yeah, that online class meeting is our next one will be on Monday, September 30th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And again, I was very intentional about trying to pick that one because you'll notice I've not developed the course past week 7 yet. I know what we're going to do, but when I say develop, I've taught this class before. I taught it when we used to use Moodle. If you were taking classes then, I don't know. I've never taught it in Canvas, so I have to build weeks 8 and on. If you'll notice, week 8 and 9, all right, you have discussion boards. So we're meeting. Let me backtrack. We're meeting during week 7. You know how to do those papers. Week 8 and 9, you know how to do discussion boards. When we meet on September the 30th, I plan to then, just like I'm doing now, go over the expectations for the interviews for weeks 10, 11, and 12, go over the expectation for the literature review and your anchor assessment and all those types of things. And again, I'll be doing that a good, look, your first interview is not due till October the 24th. We are meeting on September 38th. I'm giving you more than 3 weeks notice and going through all those expectations ahead of time. So, who are you interviewing? Okay, good question. The interview, I'm going from memory here. You'll interview a principal, I believe a guidance counselor, and a family resource center director. On different things that they work with people in the community, type stuff like that. Yeah. So kind of what I'll charge you with when we meet on September 30th will be to educate you on what I expect of the interviews. And then what I will encourage you at that time will quickly to be is don't wait around. Go ahead, identify who you're going to interview, get that date on your calendar and on that person you're going to interview's calendar. So I guess kind of what I'm getting at is a lot of these courses are the little, 7.5 week courses. We're going to treat the first half like this, and then we'll meet at the very end of the course in preparation for the second half of the course, or what a lot of times happens is you'd be getting ready for the next course, so to speak. So will you give us criteria for the interviews on September 30th? Yes. Yep. I will. Let me look here. I can't remember if I had. Yeah, in the folder I have on this that I keep for this class, I don't have any of that stuff. I have to pull that off of Moodle. So I apologize for that, but I promise I'll give you all the details that you need at that time. Let's see here. So we've been through all of that, I guess, folks, I'll just kind of end with, go back, let's see here. I'll just kind of end with, I'll stay behind if anybody has any specific questions, but, what about the anchor assessment? Yeah, so to review, so what do you need to know for the first 7 weeks of class? All right, for the first 7 weeks of class, what do you need to know? 1, first day of class discussion board. You must do that today. 2, be aware that some field experience is going to be expected of you, 10 hours. You'll get most of that through the interviews. I shared with you the syllabus and the due dates. Through the first 7 weeks of class, you're going to have discussion boards and papers. Then, at about the halfway point of the course, we're going to regroup on September 30th during week 7, and I am that time going to go through the expectations of the interviews, your literature review, and your anchor assessment. The literature review is part of the anchor assessment. So the anchor, one piece of your anchor assessment will be the literature review. And I'm going to go over all that, and I'm going to go over the interviews. So when you ask, what about the anchor assessment, I plan on doing that when we meet on September the 30th. I'm trying to break this course into 2 manageable chunks for you. Does that make sense? Okay. So to conclude, and we'll wrap it up for the night, remember, I shared my email address with you. Again, I will take a lot of pride in being helpful. If you run into questions, let me know. If we need to set up a phone call, if we need to set up our own little Zoom meeting, whatever it may be, let me know. Good, straightforward. I appreciate that. That's my goal here. If we need to set up a phone call, a one-on-one Zoom meeting, very willing to do that on a time that works for both of us. Again, I can't stress enough to, it's intentional on my part. When you log in, the only thing you see is week 1. You can't see the week 2 yet, but it's coming. If you have not already, make a note and get on your calendar, your personal calendar, your work calendar, whatever it may be, that we are meeting on Monday, September 30th at 5 p.m. for a Zoom meeting just like we are now. Reach out to me if you need anything. Otherwise, folks, I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Let me know how I can help you. Other than that, I'll stay behind if people have questions. Have a great evening. Thank you.